This is hard to talk about, and I think I've never talked about it maybe because I don't know. I think sometimes you go through things in your past and you feel like if you share them with people, people will think less of you. You know, I have this image, for better or for worse, of being this kind of nerd and super bookish and a good kid. You know, the kid who always turned in their homework and. You know, I was really lucky. I worked hard. I went to an Ivy League school, which I was very fortunate to do because I come from a family with no money. But when I was younger, I actually really struggled quite a bit. And when I was a freshman, my family did not have money, but they struggled and they saved and they worked several jobs. And you know, freshman in high school.
Okay.
I started at a new school where I was one of only 2 black kids and the only poor kid by far. The other black kid was rich, so he kind of didn't count. And I felt really isolated there. It was a new school. The kids all drove like, you know, BMWs and Mercedes Benzes. And, you know, it was just very, you know, 15, 16 years old. And I just felt really, really different from all those kids. I was big and I was gawky and I was nerdy. And I felt really alone. And I started to rebel quite a bit, and which was a new thing for me, fighting with the teachers, not showing up on time. And I think because I felt so, and this was nothing that my parents did. I was very loved. I was very supported at home. But you know, when you're a kid, you're starting to separate from your family a little bit and trying to be your own person. And I went to a school where the kids had a lot of money. They did things that kids do with money. A lot of them were into drugs. And I really started to go into that world quite a bit and get caught up in alcohol and drugs when I was a freshman, and it started to affect my schoolwork. I stopped showing up on time. I would leave school to get high, and I got thrown out of my high school.
You got kicked out of high school as a freshman?
As a freshman, I got kicked out of high school. Which, if you go to a nice rich white school, they say, "Well, we're not inviting you back." Was how they put it.
Oh no, you got kicked out.
Yeah, I got thrown out of school, and. That nothing like that had ever happened to me because I was always a good student. It was very easy for me. You know, I was one of those kids, kind of, even when I was doing all of that, I was still turning in my homework, which I think angered the school even more because they couldn't say this is what happens when you don't, you know, follow the rules, because so then it was kind of like a little bit of a dance where, like, you know, ha, ha, ha. But it got worse and worse for me.
But did they give you a warning?
No,
or you got busted
I didn't. I just got thrown out of school. I didn't get a warning at all.
It feels a little racist.
It might have been. It might have been, because after that, I had friends who stayed and they said they would talk about me like, oh, she seemed like she was on the path to destruction. She seemed like she was really headed downhill.